Pierre Poilievre accuses Justin Trudeau and the Liberals of paying off mayors in order to get photo ops. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Pierre Poilievre coming out over the weekend talking about corruption. Surprise, surprise. More corruption in our political system, as it is now being accused that the Liberal government has been paying off mayors with bribes to take photo ops and announce housing being built in order to combat record inflation. But the catch with this bribe is that, they're just taking money essentially for housing that's already being built. The Trudeau government is really just essentially looking for a handout in terms of looking good and trying to repair their image. Now, the problem that I have with this, there's nothing wrong with announcing, hey, we're doing what we can. Look at these cities doing their parts. The big problem here is that this is bribe money and it's money that's coming out of taxpayer pockets. When we look at the record inflation that we're dealing with in this country, part of the problem is because these guys are spending money like it's on fire. And now it sounds like millions and millions of dollars are going to corrupt mayors in order to lie for the Liberals to look good behind a camera while touting that they're fabulous to the good old working people of Canada. Let's take a look right here as Paul Mitchell tweeting out breaking. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre accuses Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Housing Minister Sean Fraser from Halifax of paying off mayors to give federal Liberals credit for housing that was already going to be built. Let's take a listen into what Pierre has to say, and then we will discuss.
What we've seen from Justin Trudeau and Sean Fraser has been a traveling circus over the last three weeks. So Sean Fraser and Justin Trudeau have been paying off mayors to give federal Liberals credit for housing that was already going to be built. They basically call up the mayor and say, listen, we've doubled housing costs. People are angry. We'd like to do a photo op. We'll give you $25 million if you'll let us come take credit for housing that you were going to build anyway. And of course, the mayors will take the money for one photo op, one day's work. It's not a hard bargain to make. But look at the actual construction. Since Sean Fraser became minister, housing starts have dropped. 2 years after they created the Housing Accelerator Fund, it has not completed a single solitary house. And in Sean Fraser's home province, there are now 35 homeless encampments. His province, the housing minister's own province, in Halifax, 35 homeless encampments. We didn't have this before Trudeau and Fraser, and we won't have it after they're gone.
So this is a big problem for Canada. This is a huge issue. It makes me question, when you look at other cities that have tent cities, you look at Vancouver especially, and the problems they're having even in areas like Hastings. When governments are legalizing hard drugs, when they're, and I'm not talking about, cannabis. We're talking about what they're doing in Vancouver. If you've looked at Aaron Gunn's documentary on what's happened in Hastings, you'd get a good idea. But the tent cities are one thing. The second thing is using the problem again. For me, I'm trying to think of a way to say this without seeming like I'm contradicting what I'm saying. You're taking taxpayer dollars to bribe mayors for photo ops for houses that aren't being built. Now, if there's a delay on those houses, that's one thing. That's red tape. Those are things that Pierre Poilievre has campaigned that he's going to adjust, that he is going to fix in this country so that houses can be built faster. But one thing that none of these guys touch on that I think needs to be touched on is immigration. We have a huge immigration problem in this country. We're bringing in hundreds of thousands every year without places for them to live, jobs for them. We're at record inflation. I don't see one of these leaders, one of these people who's vying for the chair of prime minister in the next election, talking about the problem we have with immigration. Call it whatever you want to. I'm not being racist at any point. This has nothing to do with somebody's skin color or where they're from. I would be saying the same thing if we were taking hundreds of thousands of United States immigrants, that something needs to be done. This is unacceptable. And it's pushing down our GDP. It's pushing down our economic value, and also our ability to live at the end of the day. Um, the biggest problem with all of this, of course, aside from that, is the fact that taxpayer dollars are being used for photo ops that regularly like just make the announcement that you're building houses. I don't understand why people are stupid enough to believe that this had anything to do with the liberals that hate Canada, but it makes me start to question even in Calgary with Mayor Jody Gondek, who is the failed placed mayor in Calgary, who was not voted in by the public, at least by my own personal beliefs. She props up Justin Trudeau more than his ego, and it makes me wonder how much money has she taken from Justin Trudeau in order to make these kind of claims. Um, if you believe what these guys are telling you, and if you believe what they're selling, there's a huge issue. Um, and I question when you look at the voting behaviors of the east side of the country. And again, I'm not trying to split divisiveness. Um, I guess I have the question of how. How can you believe what you're being told? Now, this is a serious accusation from Pierre Poilievre. I'm assuming that they have documents showing where they're getting these accusations from. And of course, the more that this develops, the more I'll be covering it. I will follow up with this. But again, it's disturbing that mayors are taking millions of dollars in payoffs for photo ops. And again, what Pierre talks about is very little work being done on parts of these mayors to arrange and be a part of these photo ops to make false statements of funding on housing structures. These are funds that we pay as taxpayers in our cities for these projects to get built. We pay out through the federal government, we pay out provincially, and now the liberals are taking credit for it. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Um, where do you see this going? I'm not going to ask if it shocks you because nothing shocks me anymore. I'm pretty much numb to it. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription to my channel. Make sure as you click that subscribe button, you're also hitting the bell for notifications and joining us here live every Sunday on the chat for our weekly wrap, where we go over everything that's happened in the week, everything coming up in the week ahead, and a nice little Q&A with our community. And it's always good to see new folks in there. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there this upcoming Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one.